Hello, 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 hello. Let me make sure I go live here in all of the beautiful places. Okay, I think we are good. So, hello. Hello, beautiful people. You are in the right place at the right time with the right people doing the right thing. How are you guys today? How are you guys today? For some strange reason, my Facebook Live kind of gave me some issues, but that's all right. That's all right. We're going to keep going because we are live on LinkedIn, YouTube, and on Instagram. So, hello, people. I hope that you guys are amazing on this beautiful. Wait, this is the first Wednesday? This is the first Wednesday of June. Welcome to June. Welcome to June. This month is, what holidays are in this month? This is Pride Month. This is Father's Day month. Like there are a couple of things going on in this month. So, and this is the first week of unofficial official summer, right? Kind of, getting things started. So, I hope that you guys are well wherever you are, whatever you're doing. We're going to get started with our conversation today. Welcome to your weekly pulse check with Dr. Dale today. So I'm coming off of a high. We had a family gathering this weekend, kind of giving you guys a mini update on me and what's going on with me. Had a big family gathering this weekend. It was my mother's birthday, and we sisters brothers, sisters, we did a whole celebration for her, and we had families that came out of town from all over, you could say, a little bit from New York, a little bit from Grand Cayman Island, a little bit from Boston. We had people come from afar. My mom is she is one of there's what, four sisters, and my mom is the oldest of the four from my grandmother. So she is the oldest, and she's up there in years, and she is as healthy can be. She is strong, and anybody you have a conversation with her, anybody talks to her, you can tell that she is not she got a lot to say about everything. So my brothers and sisters, my mom has seven kids, and five of the kids was here. We are always missing one. There's always that one missing or two missing. So I think the last time, oh, it's been a minute since all of us were together as a family. And I'll probably do a post about that to show you guys the pictures and stuff. And it was such a good event, you guys. My mom was happy. She had a lot of her friends, a lot of her church friends and stuff that came as well. We had a 2-day event because her birthday was on Friday, the 31st of May, last day of the month. And we also had the big celebration on Saturday, and that was also fun, fun, fun. So much laughter. My goodness, my family, once we get together, especially my brothers and my my brothers, my brothers are hilarious, you guys, hilarious. And I laugh so hard. I can't tell the last time, and I laugh a lot. I can't tell the last time that I laughed to the point where I couldn't breathe, and I was like holding my stomach because I needed to breathe. So that's how much fun I had. So there you go. That was my weekend. And coming off of that, and before we got to the celebration part, there was the fixing part and implementing part and doing all of the decorations and all of that. I was even painting my mom's fence up front because we had it here at my mom's house. I was even painting in the hot sun as the rain was coming. I had to finish. I'm like, I gotta finish this last one. And that's how beautiful. Just so before we got to the celebration part, I had to put in the work. So that was that, and that was I'm so glad that it she enjoyed it, and everybody that came enjoyed it, and so much food and all kinds of things that a lot of us haven't eaten in a long time, at least those from back home in Honduras. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right? So, with that being said, we're going to get started with our conversation today. Today, our conversation, let me get my slide. I have a slide today, you guys. I have a slide. I have a slide for you guys, and it's only like 5 or 6 slides or so. Okay. So, today, our conversation is about we're doing a series on the 12 workplace challenges that's holding you as the manager, you as the employer, you as a professional in the workplace that's holding you back, right? And what are those things? So there's 4 weeks in a month. You know, the last Wednesday of this month, we're gonna do our roundtable with our amazing women that we have come on a monthly basis now. But for the next 3 weeks, we're going to talk about narrow down these 12 points that may or may not be holding you as a leader or you as a professional back in your workplace, right? Especially if you're a supervisor or managing other people in any capacity, right? So where we're gonna do 4 today and then 4 in the next 2 weeks, every Wednesday here, 12:15 p.m., and keep this ship going until we get to the all of the 12, right? So the very first one that we're gonna kind of jump into is, of course, what is it that's holding you, the holding you as the leader, holding your team back? By addressing these challenges head on, you will gain the tools, the insights, what you may or may not have, you didn't think about, that you were probably, man, I forgot, I missed that, I should have done that. Foster a culture. This will help you foster a culture of collaboration, of innovation, success within the organization, and then attract those top talents, right? Because individuals, professionals want to work for organizations that is going to value them as much as they provide the value that they are bringing to you, right? So let's dive right in. And here we go. The very first one that we're going to start with today is communication. Communication, you guys. My. What can I say about communication? Ineffective communication, it can lead to so much misunderstanding, right? Misunderstanding, errors, miscommunication, a decrease in productivity. It can result in lower employee morale and engagement. Do you know that in 2021, I forgot where I saw this article when I was doing the slides for this. 86% of employees and executives cited that the lack of effective communication as the main cause of workplace failures. 86%. That's a lot. Like, that's a lot, right? Like, you thought I said this, but in reality, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. That's in reality, that's not what I meant. What I meant is this. So, communicate, communicate, communicate. If 86% of professionals in the workplace are saying that effective communication is the reason why a lot of the breakdown happens, a lot of the failures happen, then there's something that we're missing, right? There's something that we're not doing, right? We're not addressing, right? So you think I said this, but in reality, that's not what I meant. I meant this, right? So how do you fix that? Some of the communication strategies that can foster a more healthier environment, of open communication. Implement regular team meetings. You know, you want to say that you don't have time for it, you got to make the time. You put these little strategies, this is just little steps, little tips to move you in the right direction, so that way in the long run you have to do less. You don't have to work as hard because you already put these little steps and tricks and maneuvers and processes in place and structures in place, so that way it's easier for you as the leader and for your team, right? So have regular team meetings. When I was meeting with my directors, I met with them on a weekly basis. And then they met with their team and their direct reports on a weekly basis. And depending what it is, we canceled or rescheduled, but it was a regular thing. Like, we did not go an entire month without meeting at least twice, right? Maybe meet twice a month. Maybe you started off slowly, right? And you do, let's meet twice every other week, twice a month. Start slow, and let's talk about the projects that you got going on. Let's talk about the what's causing issues that you can't probably address in emails all the time, that you probably need to have a conversation about it. Another thing, encourage feedback from employees, right? Have employees give you feedback of what they think would work. Hear what they have to say. And even if they have nothing valuable to contribute, which you won't know until you ask, right? At least they would have felt that you cared enough to put their conversation on the table and let them be a part of it, right? When I was doing my data collection for my dissertation on emotional intelligence, that was one of the things that the administrators then were doing that employees loved. The fact that they got invited to the meetings, the morning meetings that they had with the executives, like once a month they got invited about to talk about what the patient was going through, what the day-to-day looked like, what their thoughts were about the next step in that patient's care, because it was a nursing home, right? They loved the fact that they got to be a part of that conversation, right? And utilize the tools like instant messaging platforms, right? There's tools and softwares, and even more so now with ChatGPT, right, out there that allows for a quicker, more efficient communication process. The tools are out there, but if you don't invest into them, or at the very least you're not sure you want to invest, at the very least put it on somebody's project list. Hey, look into something like this for us. Let's see how much it's going to cost. At least have the conversation, so that when you decide to, so that way before you make a decision, you make an informed decision. You make an informed decision about what that process or what it should look like. Maybe it's not okay for you to do a software platform now, this year, these next 6 months, but maybe next year. But you won't know if you don't do the proper research or invite the conversation from your employees, from your vendors, from your customers, to see what their thoughts are about the matter, right? Simon Sinek said, strong relationships are based on trust and communication. But if there is no communication, there is no way there can be any trust. No way, right? So you need one to get to the other. How do you expect your customers, your employees, your shareholders, stakeholders, all of them to trust you if you're not communicating with them of whatever it is, the process, what it looks like, what their benefits are, what their rights are, what the expectation is for this department. You have a new employee coming in. What is their expectation? What should they expect? What it is that they should not expect, right? Welcome that conversation, right? The more you do that, the better it will be, the better outcome you'll have, right? A lot more people are going to be engaged with the conversation, and they're going to feel good about contributing, right? They're going to feel good about what it is that you're sharing or what it is that you're saying, right? So the next one that we have on the list is number 2, inadequate training. Yes, 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 yes. Poor training. 40% of employees with poor training leave the company within the first year. That says a lot, right? That says a lot. It's important that you acknowledge that we as leaders, as people that are or leaders that have people that you're managing, without proper training, employees may lack the necessary skills and knowledge that they need to perform the task that they need to perform. Especially if you are promoting a manager that's never a person that's never been a manager before, and you're putting them in a management position. Now it's important that you give them the proper training, not just give them the learning management system, get them access to it and walk away. It's important. What does that look like? What does their experience look like? Is it just them sitting down and listening to a bunch of videos, or reading cases, and just what does that experience look like, and what is it that they're getting out of it? Are they learning? Right? Are they learning? It should the proper training will lead to help make decision making process, which will reduce the lack of productivity, right? Companies that invest in comprehensive training programs have over 218% higher income per employee than those without formalized training. That research, that statistic is from Association for Talent Development. 218%. If you simply stop, put it on your learning management director or team to have them do a revamp, and then HSI said that these are the top 10 reasons why maybe you should consider revamping or updating your employee training program, right? It says, leadership changes. If the leadership has changed, maybe it's time for you to maybe invest in having that process look a little better. I don't know. Strategic plan change, the plan of the organization, where it's going and how you guys want to move in that direction. That changes. Maybe you should also consider changing what the training looks like for the organization. Rapid growth. If you're growing like crazy, that causes other parameters to change, and eventually it will end up in your training manual, right? It's training software, right, that you use, your learning management system. Merger and acquisition. I'm not even gonna go there with that one, right? Because you have new people coming in, and how are they understanding the process? And now that you have this other organization that's a part of your organization, now you definitely need to update it, right? Downsizing a department, insufficient reporting, right? Poor ratings. If people that are taking all of these training, a new employee starts and you put them into the learning management system, and they go through that entire learning, what a new employee goes through, all of the different trainings, and at the end, 3 months from now, or 6 months from now, or a year from now, you notice that all of the trainings that you have done, you have employees that are making the mistakes on safety. They're making mistakes on what to do, when to contact HR. They're making mistakes on they don't know. Then that's another opportunity for you to rethink what this process training should look like. You're doing your company and you're doing your employees a high dishonor by not revamping or updating and making sure that they are grasping what they are learning, right? Because obviously, if they're making the mistake 6, 7, 8, 9 months, a year from now down the line on things that they should have known, maybe they're not grasping what they're supposed to, right? Hi, Dr. Angela. Thank you for stopping by. Angela Moss-Pulley. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. So we're talking today again about, the 12 tips, 12 things in your organization, that's 12 roadblocks that's probably holding, a leader, an organization, a professional in the workplace, holding you back from, from getting to that next level. And we talked about communication is definitely a high on the list. We talked about poor training. That's where we are right now. And, one of the last things on the list here, lack of modern topics. What is your learning management system talking about? Is it still showing videos from years and years and years, years, over 50 years ago that nobody can really relate to? How are you? They're not going to grasp what is going on. The material, the information may be still good, but if people are not learning from that material, then it behooves you as the leader of your organization and or the leader of your learning management system to invest into making sure that it is relatable to what's going on today, right? That it's relatable. The third one that we're going to talk about today is conflict management. Conflict management. I can't say enough about conflict management. Man, it's a doozy, right? You gotta, you're the manager or you're the employee in the middle, stopping other employees from from a discussion or a fight or an argument from breaking out. While some level of conflict can drive innovation, or excessive or poorly managed conflict can lead to a toxic work environment. It's okay to have a little bit of conflict that forces you to make changes and improve things. But if the conflict is so much so that it hurts the morale of the organization, it hurts the turnover of your organization, then it's also your responsibility to do something about that, right? Because that means it's creating a hostile environment, right? And where nobody wants to be around, nobody wants to be in it, nobody wants to be anywhere near that person that keeps on treating, yelling, cursing, disrespecting other people. Nobody want to be around that person, right? So there's a statistics that says 85% of employees experience some degree of conflict, right? And 29% of them deal with it almost constantly. Constantly. 29%. So if 85% say if the 85% of your employees are dealing with conflict, where 85% are dealing with conflict on a daily basis, almost half of those people are saying it's an everyday thing. You imagine you're going to spend 8, 9, 10, 12 hours in an organization to work, and you are always dealing with conflict, with arguing, even though you're not the one, you may be maybe the employee or maybe even the manager. You hear the arguments from other people, right? You hear the frustration, you hear the discussion going back and forth. Sometimes you're right in the middle of it, right? And that doesn't do you any good. The well-being of the employees that are affected by that, the ones that are in it and the ones that are not in it, it's affecting them. Their well-being, their emotional intelligence is it's being effective and not in a positive way. Not in a positive way, right? So what are you doing as a leader to help that, right? You got to do something, right? So it's important for you to go back and say, hey, here are some things that you can do. It's not good for anybody to be in constantly being in conversations where it's argumentative, it's hurting someone, it's putting someone down, it's tearing them down, and it doesn't help anyone. Establishing a clear conflict resolution protocol can promote active listening and empathy, which is the core of emotional intelligence, right? What should a manager do when conflict comes into play? This is a big one. A lot of people don't know what to do. Do you have those process in place? What should they do first the minute it happens, right? Provide a mediation or a coaching when conflicts arise. Provide them some type of training, not training where they're going and just attending on online virtually and they're just listening in. Make it an interactive training. Have them give you um, actual scenarios of what they are facing on a day-to-day basis so that they walk away with real, tangible answers on what they should do, right? And how to resolve these issues constructively, right? As if you're a leader or you're in HR, everybody in HR knows that there are five, conflict management styles. What is yours? You can look this up online. What is your conflict management tool? What is your go-to style, right? What does that look like for you? For everybody, it's different. Um, the first one, competing, where it says one party seeks to satisfy interests regardless of the impact to another party. Competing, they compete. They're competing with each other, right? So two people in the workplace, they're constantly competing with each other. There's healthy competition, right? But then there is not so healthy competition where I'm gonna screw you over, or I'm gonna steal, or I'm gonna lie, and I don't care what the result is as long as I win that award that the company has at the end of the year. That's not healthy, right? That's not healthy. The other one is avoiding. When you get into a conflict with someone, one or both parties seek to suppress the conflict. You don't want to deal with it. I don't want to talk to her right now. Do you ever want to talk to her? Do you ever want to resolve that conflict? Or you are an avoider? Do you avoid issues because you don't want to face you don't want to face the scenario? Are you running away from it? That's a question, right? And then the other one is accommodating. One party yields the win to another party. I'm okay with you. Yeah, you can take the last cupcake. You're in the break room together and there was a birthday party that they had in the break room, and no, you can have the last cupcake. I'm okay with that. Maybe I don't need that calorie for today, right? That's accommodating. Let me accommodate, right? But the where we all want to be with conflicts is compromise, right? We want to be able to collaborate, we want to be able to compromise, and we want to be able to accommodate. We don't want to compete because competition leads to unhealthy competition, right? And then avoiding, we don't want to avoid the issue, right? Compromise says both parties win and give up something. You give something, I give something, right? You win, I win. I'm okay with walking away because we both got something out of it, right? But what you cannot do is to ignore the situation, because the minute you ignore it, it doesn't go away. It only festers and it gets worse, right? It gets worse. So the Dale Carnegie said, when dealing with people, remember you are not dealing with creatures of logic, but creatures of emotion. Okay? When people are talking to you about whatever, you are not yeah, that's common sense, that's logical, let's go with the logical step. It may be logical, but remember, the person that's implementing that logical step is an emotional person. It's a human being with emotions behind it. And if they were fighting you and arguing with you that they want to go this way and you want to go this way, how you tackle it is not saying it's the logical step. How you tackle it is, tell me what your reservations are. What do you feel about this particular issue? And why do you feel like the project should go in this particular direction? Right? So one thing that does is have the reason I say go about it that way is because, one, you're stopping the person, you're stopping and you're saying, yeah, there's a project. Yeah, I get it. We're going to get to the solution, but I want to know what it is that you are feeling about it that is causing you to go in that direction and want me to go in, and I want to go in this direction, right? So you're telling the person, I care enough about what you have to say, so much so that I am willing to ask, stop and ask and find out how we can have a win-win for both of us, right? So there we are. I think that was number three in terms of our, and the next one we're going to talk about really quick is ineffective employee recognition. What does your employee recognition process looks like? Do you have one? Do you care to have one? If you don't have one, why don't you have one? Right? Failure to recognize and reward employees can result in feeling of alienation, lack of motivation, and decreased job satisfaction. You are literally taking money out of your own company by having people leave when you decide not to have an employee recognition program. That's what you're doing. 79% of employees quit their jobs because of lack of communication, lack of appreciation, as a key reason for leaving. They say, I am not appreciated there at that organization. They do not care about me as a person, as a human being. So I am going to take this six-figure job and give it back to them and go get another job, even for less money. And we saw a lot of that with COVID, right? So what does that look like? Is that what you are causing your employees to say? Are you pushing your employees out? Are you? I don't know. Here are some solutions that you can do as it relates to implementing those recognition programs. Implement a structured recognition program that acknowledges and celebrates employee achievements, provides timely feedback, and offers tangible rewards or incentives, or intangible, right? Anything as long as it boosts their morale and job satisfaction. Some people like to be extra job enlargement, job projects in other departments. They love that. Some people love being the employee that everybody comes to when there is a team event that they have to kind of put everything together. That's, that people love. Some people love doing stuff like that. Are you providing ways for your employees to be appreciated and to be thanked in that way? There's a quote by Simon Sinek that says, when people are financially invested, they want a return. So you throw money at the problem when it's not even a money issue. You can throw the money, but that doesn't guarantee the person is going to be there forever, right? I mean, even if it's not, then you still can't guarantee a person being there forever, right? Because if the person is there with an organization for 5, 6, 3, 4 years, they have learned a lot, right? And at some point, they are no longer challenged, and it's time for them for their next, maybe promoted in a different role, right? Maybe going to another department, or maybe leaving and going to start their own thing, right? But you got to give them that opportunity, right? He says, when people are emotionally invested, they want to contribute, right? So are you providing ways for your employees to be emotionally invested with your organization? There are ways they can do that. There's countless programs out there, softwares that you can at least research, right, to know what it looks like and how it would look like in your organization, right? From AwardCo, we work with that one, Worktango, and I think there was another one that's called Reward Gateway, We work with them. I work with them as well. So there are a lot of different systems out there that you can implement, that you can work with. The thing is that you have to at least put in the work to figure out what it would look like for your organization, right? And if you don't do that, if you decide to not do that, then at the end of the day, you're not giving your employee all that they need to be successful in your organization, or you're not giving it to yourself. If you're a professional here and you're a manager, or you're a specialist, or a coordinator, or you're a director, maybe these are things that you can start doing for yourself, right? Maybe you do need to take some trainings. Maybe you do need to communicate a little bit better. Maybe you do need to revamp on how you are recognizing your own employees, right? Or your own friends and family that is around you. How it works for you is how it works, but you gotta at the very least do one of take away one of these four things that we discussed today, right? We talked about the there's 12 tips, steps, 12 workplace blunders, challenges that you are probably causing, that's holding you back as a person, that's holding you back as an organization, that's holding you back in your professional world, right? And we talked about communication is one, poor training for your employees. We talked about recognizing your employees, right? Why aren't you recognizing them? And then lastly, we talked about wait, maybe I think I'm missing one. So yeah, it was communication, inadequate training, conflict management was the other one. So there are various different conflict management styles you can do. You can go on Google and just search conflict management styles. Do a test. There's a test out there. It's for free. See what your conflict management style is. Are you an avoider? Are you somebody that likes to be in competition with people? Maybe you're like to work with people and collaborate, right? Maybe you're a compromiser, but whatever it is, whatever it looks like, know what your work style is, your management style is, because how your management style is going to affect the employees that you are leading, right? It's going to affect your relationships. If you don't like problems, when there's a problem in either your personal relationship with your husband, wife, kids, family, mother, dads, children, whatever, if you don't like conflict, what you do is you avoid it. And this is not only speaking for the workplace, right? This transcends into the home life, right? If you don't like how you having problems at home and you run away from them, shy away from them, and you don't deal with them, then you're an avoider. And that is, if you notice on the chart there, that's one of the lowest form of management styles. So you got to put steps in play to kind of get over that hump, right? And there are ways that you can do that. There are ways that you can do that. Feel free to reach out. I have so much different tools and resources that I can share, that I'm happy to share with anybody who's interested, right? And then the other one we talked about, I think that was it. So yeah, I think that was it. And Dale Carnegie, as it relates to this, says, when dealing with people, remember you are not dealing with creatures of logic, but creatures of emotion. And how you get somebody to see things your way is to relate to them from an emotional level. There's one thing that we all have in common, and that's we all experience emotions, right? We're experience sadness, we're all experience enthusiasm, happiness, frustration, anger, all of these emotions we share. I don't care where you are, where you're from, what human being you think you are. No, it doesn't matter. As long as your blood is red and you're a human being, which you experience emotions of shame, of sadness, emotions of excitement, right? Emotion, all of these emotions we experience, and they're akin to you and me, and that's one thing we share, which is why it makes us so that's why we're able to connect with each other, right? Because no matter what it is, it doesn't matter your title, it doesn't matter what degrees you have, what position you have. Before all of that, we connect on an emotional level, right? And that's a quote from Dale Carnegie. And of course, effective employee recognition. Recognize your employees. They want to be recognized, and it's not always money situation. It's not always about money. It's about thank me, right? Truly thank me for I did that slide for the team all by myself. I did a slide on 15 different slides on teamwork, and I had to present it in front of the entire team. Let me know how good of a job that I did, but also provide me with the feedback of maybe there's some things I could do for better next time. Provide me with that constructive feedback. And remember, you got to do a sandwich. You got to do, they said, is 3 to 5 positive words of encouragement, one not so positive, which is that constructive feedback, and then 3 to 5 to close the loop. Because people, as human beings, we gravitate and connect to the negative. The negative is what we remember, not the positive. So that's why they say give it a lot of positive, one negative, and a lot of positive. And I don't even call the feedback now as negative. I call it education, because something that you didn't know. This is the first time you did, you had to do a presentation and you never did it before. And yeah, you were nervous. And see, if I just give you that constructive feedback next time, let's not put your hands all up in the air like this. That's confused. That will kind of cause people to be confused. You don't want to be confused because now all you're focusing on is my hand, right? See that the person is like, they laugh about it depending on how you say it and your tone. You got to make sure that you're providing them feedback that they can actually take back with them and they can implement, and it doesn't hurt their feelings, right? Because you put yourself in their shoes, you wouldn't want somebody to do it to you. And that's a lot. I think we went over today because we're covering these 12 challenges. And next week, we're going to continue with the next 4, right? And then we're going to keep this ship going because this was amazing. Let's unleash your team, you, to be a better leader, right? To be a better person, right? Communicate better, show up better, give positive feedback, and give constructive feedback, and definitely have healthier conflict resolution, right? Right? Healthier conflict resolution. So I thank each and every single one of you. I'm going to end with this quote that I started ending with my last live as well. May I be happy. May you be happy. May I find deep joy. May you find deep joy. May I be peaceful. May you be peaceful. May I be safe. May you be safe. May I live with ease. May you live with ease. May we be love. May we be prosperous. May we be filled with energy to share with each and every single person that we encounter. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you guys next week for your weekly post check with Dr. Dale. Thank you. Bye.